Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here at the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I'm here with the main man himself, Scott. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I noticed something in the background.
Okay,
There is a cloud in the sky. The sun
there
is
is.
out. But I remember a story about a young gentleman that left some water going on in a pool.
Yes.
Are you back at the crime scene?
I am at the crime scene where I left the water on going into the pool for literally a whole weekend. And literally, I made not just a pool, but the rest of this yard became a lagoon. Yes. My parents got like a $600 water bill back when that was very, very high. Not the norm here in Southern California. Flush the toilet twice a day at $600. Welcome to the ecologically correct Southern California. Yeah, right. I actually
Oh
had
my
ducks. I
God.
actually had ducks in the backyard. I didn't even know we had ducks in Southern California. Billy came by to shoot them. That's one of our good friends. He's a
Right?
hunter. God bless him. God bless him. So how's everything going in the neighborhood up there in the PNW?
No, it's nice. It's nice. Just walked the Willamette River for, 2 miles with the doggies. Got a good little walk in. We're getting a
Nice.
little break from the rain right now, a couple days, only
Okay.
20% chance. So it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some more decor out, I think, on the outside this weekend. We'll see. But yeah,
What does
my
that mean? What does decor on the outside mean?
well, we live in a world of alphabet soup. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they kept on saying DEI, and I was like, why are they
What?
talking about Dale Earnhardt Incorporated?
Yeah, exactly.
You
One
know,
of the legendary race car teams.
they keep talking about these women in broadcasting. I'm like, well, I'm still not understanding.
God bless. God bless. Yes, that's he's talking about me and Brian and we even though we're on opposite sides of the political spectrum, I think that we kind of came to a unison on certain women don't really need to be there. Just like and like I said, I'm going to say there's certain men who don't deserve to be there. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand. I do understand why they want to get former players or former participants into it, hopefully to get some insight. But I think anybody, let's just take NASCAR, for example. Jeff Gordon was one of the great racers of all time, but he couldn't convey that to the audience of what he saw. Okay. Clint Boyer was not 1/10 of the racer Jeff Gordon was. I'm not impugning him. He's obviously super talented, but he has a way of explaining to the average person and even somebody like yourself, Scott, who's a little more in tune with it, things that we normally wouldn't see.
Yes, agreed, agreed. But I think these women and these men that get put in front of the cameras and in front of the microphone, they have a producer, unlike us. We can't afford her.
Absolutely. Yes.
She only shows up every
Yeah.
now and then just
She's a
to fix
Ronin.
your
Ronin.
shoulders. Yeah, she
Exactly.
gets your shoulders and readjusts you.
God bless
But
her.
they got producers that are bringing information to them, and they got to bring it to you. And it's either going to be above your head, below your head, or they're going to hit
Correct.
right in the mark. And that's what you're talking about. There's some of these people are just like, they're lost. And I hate the announcers on both sides of the fence, men and women, that literally repeat what the person said in front, except for
Yes.
they added one more syllable. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, really? I didn't notice that the puck went in the net and it hit the
Yes.
back of it. It actually hit the back of the net. You're right. It's a goal.
I couldn't agree with you more. And let's talk about that aspect of it. God, I love the way you take this podcast in cool ways. The producers, they want to justify their job. I don't know if they want to be micromanagers. And I'm going to give you an example. ESPN does hockey and TNT does hockey. And ESPN's done it for a lot longer, and they are just effing terrible. They, first of all, literally in a 6 minute segment, they will somehow find a way to put 7 minutes of commercials. Okay. They will come back from the break and they'll go, in the next break, we're going to go to this. And then they go to 4 commercials. Okay. Look, they
Yep.
want to monetize it. TNT allows their announcers, whether it's in basketball, which is legendary, or hockey, which is the best one in hockey, to breathe. to talk.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
Henrik Lundqvist say what he needs to say. Don't just
Yes.
repeat the other thing the other guy said. You know what
Right.
I mean? And honestly, Wayne Gretzky, greatest hockey player of all time. He looks like he's in a hostage video when he's on there. It's like, I want to be at New York gambling. I don't want to be doing this. What am I doing? And then they bring him out and he puts a stick in his hand and goes, "Yeah, I just put the stick in the on the puck and the puck goes in the net." And it's like, okay, that really helped us. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, move on. And if you watch ESPN, they literally give him 30 seconds to even talk. Mark Messier probably has a really lot of insightful things, but like you said, he's got the producer in his ear going, just, you're going to cut 10 seconds, nine,
Right.
eight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Throw it to so and so. It's horrible. You know, they're throwing back on TNT. They're throwing back and forth, and I like the banter. I like how they make fun of each other, and then and then they bring in the players and they banter with them and joke with them. That is what's going on behind the boards. You know
Right.
what I mean? And
Hmm.
Gretzky, he's the greatest ever, right? That guy, most assists, most goals. Ovechkin is at 4. I loved reading that the Capitals were talking about signing Gretzky for the last 5 games so he can feed Ovechkin his winning goal. You know that dude would be around styrofoam and everything. That nobody wanted to touch him. Just let him score real quick. Get him
Yeah.
off the ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would want to
Exactly.
be the guy that took out Gretzky on the ice and been like, sorry, old man.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I got to be honest with you. He is a national hero for Canada, but it seems like his star is kind of dimming right now. It just seems to be, it ebbs and flows. It ebbs
yeah,
and flows, and he still is who he is. Mickey Mantle's an American hero, and Wayne Gretzky is a Canadian national hero. But,
yep.
it is. Let me ask you this, and I've never asked you this. In the NASCAR world, which broadcast do you like the most?
I
NBC, Fox? Um,
I
I,
I
I
like
know
him.
there's Amazon. Amazon does a couple races. I don't even know who's on
Well,
that, to be honest with
well,
you.
we haven't seen Amazon yet, and I think that right there is a Dale Earnhardt Jr. team that he is assembling. We're going to see something really good. He brought Carl Edwards out of retirement. That guy disappeared from NASCAR.
He sure
He
did.
got he got put on the Hall of Fame, and all of a sudden he started showing up. And next thing you know, now he's broadcasting with Dale Earnhardt. He pulled him out of the weeds. That guy completely did it. That looks really well to me. But NBC has it right. They know how to throw it to each other. Steve Letarte really gives you the insight. They got the driver perfection. They know how to smooth it in.
Yeah,
Harvick's good, but he's long winded, and he doesn't let Clint Boyer breathe. You know,
right.
and I think it's funny because every now and then they bring up the fact that Harvick's son looks up to Clint Boyer than he does more than Harvick.
But then Fox tries to get their street cred by going, "Oh, Kevin Harvick won 9 times at Phoenix and he won a cup
Oh
champ."
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I totally agree. I do think on the Fox broadcast when they let Larry go and talk
Oh,
about the motors and things,
oh,
I literally want to impale my eardrums. Like, I understand they got to go to him with 5 laps left and what do the numbers
yeah.
say?
What's
But
the
man,
stats?
yeah, what's the stats? I mean, look, I get it, but man, there's got to be a better way to do it. It just seems like they're trying to force the round peg in the square hole. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I agree. But we got like 5 or 8 more years of him. He just signed another contract.
Okay, well,
So,
there's a
so
lot of people at ESPN who signed a contract and are
yeah.
hanging out on the streets. They're hanging out on your walking trails, right?
Right. 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 Right.
All
Hey,
right. All right.
analytics don't always work. Okay. Sometimes you got to
No.
go with the coach's butt. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Okay.
that real
Hey.
quick. You know what? I'm going to ask you on Friday. I'm going to ask you Friday to give me the two greatest drivers of NASCAR. Don't
Two.
tell me now. Don't tell me now. Don't
That's
tell me now.
easy. That's easy.
Okay, okay, okay. We're going
Let,
to see.
let's get really who's the two greatest drivers in all sports? That's a hard one.
Motorsports.
Yeah, motorsports. That's a hard one. Because you got drivers that have made it across from race the race. You got Mario Andretti, not Michael Andretti, Mario, that did good in NASCAR. He did it good in Formula One. He did good in Indy. You got AJ, right?
Hmm.
Allmendinger. He
Yeah,
won in
right.
Indy, came to NASCAR. He got forgotten about. Red Bull came with him and started a NASCAR series. They came to NASCAR because of him, and then they disappeared and went to F1.
If you're talking about Americans, if we're talking about Americans, I mean, to me, if you're looking across the world, you got to put Schumacher up there. That
Oh yeah,
and Lewis
but what other
Hamilton,
sport?
obviously. Yeah, go ahead.
But
I
what
look, I
other
get it.
car has he
I
been
get
in?
it. But I
What
mean,
other
if we're
car?
if we're okay, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm
Hey,
down.
you wanted to
Okay.
go off the rails, buddy? Let's go.
Okay, we are off the rails. That's what we are.
Yeah.
But if I'm
Like and
talking about
subscribe.
America, it doesn't really, I don't think anybody really compares to AJ Foyt. That guy just,
Agreed.
you guy
Ah,
put that guy in the car, he goes. I would say the second would either be Richard Petty because, he took that year off from NASCAR and he got in a dragster. That guy just said,
yeah.
hey, we're going. We ain't playing no
Yeah.
games here, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would say maybe Mario Andretti. I mean, I'd have to flip a coin between Mario Andretti and uh, and Richard Petty. I would say this that
Oh,
if I expanded it to top five, I would definitely put Tony Stewart in there.
ding, ding, ding. We're talking Indy. We're talking NASCAR. We're talking straight line drags. We're talking dirt.
Right.
That dude's done a lot. You know, Larson is doing dirt. He's doing Indy. He's doing NASCAR. You know, you named off some Formula One drivers, but wherever else have they raced to prove that they're that good?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like saying
There,
it's like saying, well, Jack Nicklaus never really went out to Europe to play. I mean, okay,
I know,
he
but we're
he
talking.
dominated the
Yeah,
most competitive circuit there is. I mean,
yeah,
look, I understand what
I
you're saying.
agree,
You're talking about a
I agree.
versatile across all
Yes,
spectrums driving.
yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, lost. You're muted, bud.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah,
nice, right?
that's what
You know.
Jay mutes when he loses the battle. He just mutes it. He's just like,
I just muted it. All right. We're gonna pivot like I do on the dance floor. We're gonna talk about
yeah,
something that you don't really hear a lot about, and Scott brought this up the other day. We'll call it a pre-production meeting. I always love talking to Scott, whether it's on the podcast or in person, or on the phone. Excuse me. I'm not privileged enough to be up in the PNW, but let's talk a little college basketball. Um, I gotta say, and this is my fault. I haven't been giving the women their love. We have the Final Four for the women starting on Friday. We have UCLA playing UConn. We have South Carolina playing Texas. And as I did a deeper dive, I found out, wait, they're not that far from the men because three number one seeds made it and a number two. And probably all four number one seeds would have made it if Schuster over, or Juju Watkins, excuse me, over at
hmm,
USC didn't blow out an ACL. And I hope she recovers well.
yeah.
Um, it seems like South Carolina is a monster on a monster. They have been for the last couple of years, but
Go
UCLA
Cox.
has, yeah, that UCLA center, God bless her. I can't think of her name offhand because we only got 60 names to put into this podcast.
Right.
Do you have any feelings on the Final Four?
I like the Cox to win, and I like UConn to win, and then Cox probably win it
Okay.
all.
So you're
Yeah.
calling an upset on the UCLA
Yep.
game on Friday. And then
Yep.
the Gamecocks from South Carolina. I got to say that coach is just really, really good.
Yep. Yeah.
And she has really molded a great program. I wonder how much longer she's going to stay there, but maybe they are rolling out the money. I will say this, that I'm getting more into enjoying the girls. Before, if a girls game came on, I was like, oh, let me check this out for a minute. I do enjoy it. They are really fundamentally sound.
Correct.
You don't see the high flyers. I'll be honest. I saw the McDonald's high school basketball all-star game yesterday, and literally it's so hard. And I think we, as viewers of sports, especially college, it's so hard to realize these are 18 and 19-year-old people doing stuff that is just seems subhuman. Even the women, how disciplined they are, and they all come off and they're all disciplined in media, like, oh, I'm just worried about the team. Oh, I only care about the team. And, I saw that a couple of weeks ago in the Final Four or in college basketball where they were saying, we're all equal, we're all time. That's such BS because when you've got a Larry Bird or something, he is going to be selfish because he is going to, or a Juju Watkins, whoever, Paige Bruckner, whatever, when it's 2 minutes and you're tied, you're feeding that person. We're not all equal.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's where what you were trying to bring up about Brian about, hey, if he's injured, he should sit down. And he was saying, hey, I'd rather have him on the field because an injured Larry Bird at 80% is better than your B and C players at 100%.
Right,
That's
right.
fact. When the game's
That is
on the
fact.
line, when the game is on the line, you want your big dog out there. That's fact, you know? And that's where
Absolutely.
sports is at. That's what sports is at from the Little League era, from the AYSO, all the way up to high school, all the way to college. Your 2 to 3 stud players is what gets you going. Unless you're the Dodgers and then your whole squad is the stud players.
Yeah, it's the Japanese All-Star team and also the American All-Star
Hey,
team.
quick update. If MLB was to finish today, the Angels would be in the
The
playoffs
playoffs.
and the Sox would be out. Woo, let's go
Yeah.
Angels.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God we only have 1 million more games to go. That's the beauty of baseball. When you think they're done, they still got 80 more games to go.
Oh God. I gotta get
All
it
right.
out now before the All Star series comes, and then I was like, I don't know what happened to him. I'm hoping hockey starts again.
Yeah, exactly. So it does seem I'm going to tell people here in case that phone call screwed up everything, and I do apologize for it.
Yeah,
It seems we're at 5 minutes, so I don't know if the other video's around or if
17.
the. I know we're going to find out. Let's talk a little about college basketball, and obviously
Yeah,
everybody is talking about the NCAA, and we'll probably talk about that on Friday. Obviously, we will. But what I'd like to get into is this Crown basketball tournament that is going on in direct competition with the NIT. And I was looking at the NIT, and that usually was where the people who couldn't make the tournament went to. Well, that's not happening this year. Everybody is going to the Crown basketball tournament, which is being held in Vegas at the MGM Arena. And I literally saw a game the other day, and there was so few people, I could hear one guy in the crowd heckling the coach. I mean, it
oh,
was
the
it was
best,
insane, right? Yeah,
the
right. It was
best.
like COVID. Remember COVID,
Ah,
where
yeah,
you could literally hear the players talking to themselves. And I was
yep,
thinking, wow, there's literally five people in this arena. The teams outnumber the fans, and
yep.
I did do a deeper dive, and the winner of the tournament gets 300,000 into their NIL. The runners up get 150 or $100,000, and the NIT has to get their head out of their butt if they want to attract any teams. Forget food and lodging. Don't cut it anymore.
Right, right. So the NIL, that right there is insanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
300 grand, that's really nothing to these players.
No,
Who was the
that
best
they got to
one?
split. That they got to
Okay,
split.
they got a split, right? But who was the number one woman basketball player last year that everybody talked about?
That was our girl, Caitlin.
Caitlin. Do you realize
Caitlin.
that she made $3 million from the NIL?
No, I didn't. Wow,
Yeah,
that's an amazing number.
right,
Wow. Okay.
right. So we so upset about the Pac-12 folding.
Yes.
It's like a 7.7 earthquake somewhere.
Yeah. Tsunami's
Um,
still here.
yeah, yeah, Bangkok, whatever.
The,
Anyways, when you have Nike that's backing Oregon, right, and they're pumping money into the NIL, right, that's bringing these players in, and that's stealing from
absolutely.
the OSU, that's stealing from the Indiana teams that they don't have the backing like that. You know,
Absolutely.
about, I was shocked when I was diving into that because I was like, I know we talk about the NIL so much, but I'm like, what is it really? And I'm like, okay, well, they get to control their likeness and they get to do this, that, and the other. But then I found out, oh, well, the alumni gets to kick them down some money. And then if the alumni owns a company, they get to kick them down the money. It's like, these are why these players are not loyal to a college.
And I think there is a subset of that. I agree with you 100%, Scott. But I did see, I want to say 3 weeks ago, the NCAA passed legislation that said that they could sign the NIL deals before they enrolled in campus. Now, what to me, as being the skeptical Jay, we all know me as skeptical Jay, okay, I'm not optimist Billy, is that these kids were getting to campus and tentatively, verbally being told, we're going to give you X, Y, and Z. And then they get
Hmm.
there and it's like, sorry, we're not going to give you a car. We're going to give you a lease,
Yeah.
something to that effect.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, to me, look, they've been taking advantage of these kids for 80
Yeah.
years. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe the pendulum is swinging a little far, but you know what? It's going to find its center. Don't sit there and cry about all these coaches who had to leave the game because they can't handle NIL. Look, when they instituted the forward pass, the game changed. This is
Right.
just a different thing. And for
Right.
at the end of the day, I don't know where you stand on this. For the life of me, I don't know why they aren't just not violating antitrust and unionizing all the players so that they can have a set collective bargaining agreement and then go from there. If they want to give them bonuses, fine. But you cannot, in collective bargaining or antitrust, have 256 colleges, supposedly independent entities, acting in concert with each other to hold down wages. It just
Right.
doesn't work that way. That is what collusion is. That's what antitrust.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you.
Yeah. It just, look at, I get it now before you lose it, right? I get it. That's what all these sport kids are about, right? And I'm
Sure.
glad they're getting the money, but I'm just frustrated that, like, or I've watched OSU go to a football game. They've been really well, and all of a sudden they get put into the transfer portal, and then
Yeah,
it's like, who's this team out there? I don't know who any of these players are.
absolutely.
Because and you're seeing this transfer portal, and they're all jumping ship. You know,
Yes.
I don't. The portal needs to be adjusted to after the season's over. I believe.
I
Let
agree
these
with that.
players
I
finish
do.
it
I
out.
agree with that.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? you
Yes.
know, but then again, it's like, well, I need to save myself to get to here. You know what I mean? We saw it, we saw it in all the bowl games where these players are like, well, I'm going to the draft. Why should I play in the Sugar Bowl or whatever,
Well,
Tostito Bowl, whatever, insert bowl?
yes. Yeah, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to throw this out to you, Scott. I think we're talking about stuff I haven't heard on legacy media. Do you think, okay, let's say the rumor is on campus. Let's say you play for Georgia and you're playing against, I don't know, Miami in the bowl game, and the rumor around campus is, because they're all talking,
Yeah.
is you're going to go in the portal. Well, at that point, when Kirby Smart, let's say he's a vindictive guy, let's say he's pissed off at you, he's going to probably throw you against their biggest player. Maybe you're going to blow out a
Yeah.
knee.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, coaches are vengeance, right?
Yeah.
They're all about them. They're all about the school. They're all about whatever that brand is, right?
Yeah.
That's, I am conflicted on that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, and I'm going to say it right now, not everything is black and white. There
Yeah.
is gray issues. It's kind of like me on the transgender thing. I support transgender rights, but I'm not going to get involved. I don't want to even waste my time on guys competing in girls' sports. If some guy wants to literally change his physiology to win a medal, okay, that's a high price to pay, but whatever, whatever. Let the organizations. I don't have to have an answer for everything, and at the end of the day, I just think they do have to get some semblance of. I agree with you about the portal.
Yeah. Yeah. I,
Okay.
I agree that I worry about a coach taking it out on their player, but you look at football. And every time before the games start, they always go through, this is Jay
Yes.
from the great
Hmm.
Ojai,
Yep.
and this is
Hmm.
Scott from the great,
Yep.
the
PNW.
Beavers. Yeah,
Hmm.
they do that in football. You don't really see that anywhere else, but they do like to brag about in basketball too. At some point, they do brag about where they came from, because that still sells that big college. You know,
Absolutely, but I mean, we
but
look at when. Oh, good. Go ahead.
yeah, but if you have a coach that thinks that I built this whole team around you and we're going to win this championship because of you, and now I got to insert this guy, well, screw you. I'm going to hurt you because you're
Yeah.
leaving us.
Right.
I mean, there are those coaches, there are those hotheads.
His name is Urban Meyer. Okay.
Yep.
And if your name wasn't Tim Tebow, you literally got treated like the dirt behind me. I mean,
Right,
literally, that he was ruthless. And we saw what happened when he went to the pros, and those guys are like, no, I got a contract. You can't treat me like this.
right,
They had a little more sense of self. Let's just say
right,
that. Okay.
right, right.
All right. Before we go, I'd like to just delve into hockey. You got any thoughts on hockey
Ah.
this week, my friend?
You know what's interesting to me on the hockey is it's always East and West, right? Who's the more
Mm-hmm.
dominant? Like who has
Mm-hmm.
the stronger teams? Well, East is still top heavy. They're very top heavy. But then I look and all the 10 teams are still in it. There's 10 teams still in it trying to
Mm-hmm.
get to the wild card.
Right.
And you look I mean, on the east side, on the west side, there's already 4 teams eliminated. My poor Ducks were scrounging, trying to stay in. We're not going to
They're
get there.
fighting. They're fighting. They're
They're
fighting.
fighting. They had the lead on the Sharks last night. They gave it up, then they came back. Thank God McTavish showed up with his little hot
Yep.
stick.
Yep.
Um, we're playing Calgary tonight or tomorrow. Um, the Knights are locked in. The Capitals are locked in. Dallas is locked in. The Maple Leafs are locked in. The Canes are locked in. There's more and more teams getting locked in. This is the fun time that we're going to see that wild card get crazy. It's going to be fun.
Well,
You
you're going
know,
to see two things. You're going to see the wild card, and you're also going to see for seeding, right? I mean, let's
yeah,
call it what
yeah,
it is, right?
yeah. But I I can. This is a sport where the wild card team can take out that number one team and go all the way. The Kings have done it. There's been quite a few teams that have done it.
There is, and you're the guy who really brought that into me, and we're seeing St. Louis on a 10-game winning streak.
Oh,
Maybe
St.
they're
Louis and
getting hot.
Colorado. Oh,
Right. They're both smoking hot. And I just want to go back, and I'm going to just say off the top of my head 2019 when St. Louis came out of nowhere and beat the
yep,
Bruins for the title. Um,
yep.
you've always preached that. Like, where are you at when the playoffs start? I mean, cuz honestly, I understand. We have an epic matchup today. We have Toronto playing Florida in Toronto. I don't know what the matchup really means, but it's about who's got the hot goalie. I don't care if you're an 8 seed. You only got to win one on their turf, and you
Yep.
got that Jaguar. You got that Patrick Waugh. He could change the series.
Yeah. Oh, Patrick Wall. Gosh, I love that
I
guy.
know.
Yeah.
He was
He's
a
a great
fighter.
coach too. He's a great
He
coach.
was.
He,
He
he
was.
was,
Well,
was.
I liked
What
him
do you
in
mean?
Colorado, and I didn't understand why they got rid of him. But okay,
What
let's
do you
move
mean
on.
was? What do you mean? What do you mean was?
Well, he's a coach now.
Yeah, I
Where's
know.
he
That's
at
what I was
now?
saying. Islanders. He coaches Islanders.
Right, right. He doesn't
Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
Remember, he got fired from Colorado, or he
yeah,
left.
yeah. He left, and then he went down to the lower levels, and now he's. I think he's a year and a half or 2 years at coaching at the Islanders, and they're in the mix. They play
They're
that
in the
feisty
mix.
style. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean your Bruins are still in the mix. Even though you got
yeah,
rid of most of
yeah,
your team. You
yeah.
know.
All the good
Yeah,
players. All the
yeah,
good players. Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
bringing that up. Yeah.
I got to get the salt out.
The wound is fresh. The wound is fresh, right? I don't think we're going to be seeing that jersey till preseason in October.
uh,
Yeah, exactly. All
I
right.
see blood. I see
What's
blood
that?
in the water. I see
Oh,
blood in
you
the water. I
do.
gotta
It's
go
in the
for it.
pool. It's in the pool. Yeah, go get it. Go get it there, Tiger Shark. Go get it there, Tiger Shark. I'll call you the Kraken. Um,
Oh,
so what do
they're
you
eliminated.
I gotta be honest, and I didn't think Ovechkin was gonna get there this year, but it does seem on the second half of the year he's really picking up some momentum. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
feeding him more or what's going on, but I got a feeling he's gonna do it before the end of the regular season.
Did you see the most easiest goal he made all year yesterday?
No, I
He
didn't.
like just he sat on the back post and the puck just landed in front of him. And the goalie's on the left side of the net and he's on the right side and like the puck's right in front of him. He goes, "Oh, pink! I could have made that goal." Oh, on my beer
Oh,
league, I would have made that one because that was like
yeah, right.
2 inches away. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, like
it's
how
almost
much
an
you
open netter.
yeah, tee it up, buddy. Come on. He,
All right.
I, I really didn't think he was going to get it. He's going to get it. I feel bad for Crosby for passing Gretzky for the most assists.
Yeah.
It just shows you, just like home runs, everybody likes the finisher.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the big one.
Yep.
The goals is a big thing. He's going to get it. I think he has 8 games left, maybe 7 games left. He's going to get it.
Sure. Sure.
He I
Yeah.
really hope it's not an empty netter, though. I really hope it's not. And I remember when Gretzky passed most points ever, they actually stopped the whole game and took him behind into the locker room and stripped all his clothes off, everything he was wearing, took the puck, took the skate, and they took it to the Hall of Fame. I really
Wow.
hope they do that for Ovechkin, where they pull him off the ice and they have a whole ceremony. I mean, it sucked for the whole game because but it's still you're watching history, and
Right.
you don't get to see history very much. And this is something that nobody thought it was going to fall, and
No.
he's gonna extend this because I think he got like 3, 4 more years to go, unless they really like dismantle the team.
I'm telling you though, man, that guy's grayer than Santa Claus. I look at that guy and I'm like, whose grandpa is that? And then, oh no, that's
Yeah,
Ovechkin. I'm like, wow,
yeah.
this guy is still doing it?
Yeah, but he can knock you out on the ice, man. That guy
Oh,
can
there ain't
still
no
check.
doubt.
He's a
There ain't no
solid
doubt.
guy. He's a solid guy.
Obviously, nobody's
Yeah,
giving him a break, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't
I
think
mean,
he's getting the AARP discount, I mean,
no,
oh,
no.
score one goal, get three, you
Yeah,
know? Okay,
no,
okay, I'm just
no,
saying. I'm
no,
just
no.
throwing it
I
out
hear
there,
you.
kid.
I hear you.
Okay, okay.
I hear you.
All right. Well, excellent, like usual, Scott. We split it into two, and I'm hoping I can extract the other one. We shall see, my good friend. Friday, we'll be back with a motorsports preview.
Darlington,
F1, and where?
Darlington for NASCAR throwback, and
Yes.
then we have Japan.
Japan, yes. We're going to Japan
Yeah.
for F1 and we're learning F1 and we're teaching you. And when we make mistakes, leave it in the comments. If you could, hit like and subscribe. It means a lot. You got anything going on till Friday, Scott?
Started coaching Little League with my son, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh my
So the
God. Oh God. Yes.
grand dude number one is playing some coach pitch, so we're back out there doing that.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
beautiful. That is
Tuesdays and
beautiful.
Thursdays we'll be out there coaching, so that's good times.
You know what? I'm gonna have to do my baseball story when I was an assistant coach. I'm gonna do that on a little, maybe I'll do it Friday. I don't know. You know the story about the draft.
You
Um
know,
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I want to be politically correct, but I don't. God bless. I think we're going to start out Friday. Friday, we're going to start out with that story about me coaching Little League Baseball, being an
uh,
assistant coach, right?
make sure we got DEI going on this, okay?
Yeah, we will. Oh, we'll be getting plenty of that tomorrow with Brian. God bless him. All right, Scott, you're awesome. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
All right, dude.